We've come to the end of the 5 days. We've come to the end of this summit with over 100 hours of content and over 100 speakers. A bold and hopeful vision that Anja and I shared, that there would be professionals all over the world who would respond to this call to come together and find new ways of collaborating and negotiating the new normal. And over 1,600 of you registered and have been popping in and out. We've had a lot of challenges over the 5 days.
We got hacked.
Some of you may know we got hacked, right? The website couldn't hold up to the strain. And so a lot of, our big plans and that we were excited about didn't come to fruition.
But hey, we learned. And we learned a lot.
And that's the way the world is, right? It's about navigating uncertainty, like Merlin was saying earlier today. And it's about what are the new skills that we have to develop to go through, changes and obstacles and stuff that comes your way. So I think we were tested in every way stretched over the last 5 days. So what we want to do now is just tell you a little bit about what you can expect going forward, those of you who are still plugged in with us. And first of all, this is not just a 5-day summit. It has never been planned to be a 5-day summit. It was always about continuing the momentum of the work that we started together during COVID-19, where over 180 lawyers and domain experts and system thinkers came together to start mapping what was going on in the world and to start to figure out how we could work together in a new way. And so we have now invited all of you in to be a part of what we are doing going forward. And we organize ourselves in what we call, and you're going to have to get to know this because we speak in acronyms.
The NCOPs.
The NCOPs. So we organize ourselves in networked communities of practice, which are organized around issues or big societal challenges, legal niche areas where we think interventions could create an impact. And so before the summit, we had already established a few network communities of practice in human rights, in international trade and public procurement, on the COVID-19 policy response itself, on data privacy and surveillance. And we are now coming out of the summit, developing more network communities of practice on issues that hopefully you will feel connected to.
And one thing that we do need to emphasize is that the work in the NCOPs is not as intense as it looks like in the summit, because here we really run a marathon. But in the NCOPs, what we basically do is you got a bit of a glimpse into how we do things. And we really perceive ourselves as being the engineers for law. There needs to be a change in the legal system. And this is pretty much what we do. We convene online, more or less, because we are very aware of having people all around the world and how we have to come together. We're going to be using Zoom meetings more and more often with more and more people.
Zoom fatigue. You must be feeling it now.
But I do hope that you saw the transitional launches as well. We had fabulous Elisa. We do have an incredible team.
And
Agavni, both of you guys. it was amazing hearing your voice and leading us through. And Alicia, yeah. So all of you guys, the breathing exercises that you had and the meditative techniques that you offered to everybody, that was amazing, beyond wonderful. And also the speakers alone. The NCOPs and these practices, the different legal domains were really becoming more and more visible. We have covered everything from space laws to public procurement to crypto. Okay, those are my areas, I know. But then there was integrative law.
Yeah, human rights and how do we build peace. But what we do in those network communities of practice, guys, is we're coming together, we are mapping the policies, we are doing what we call meta-legal research, that is linking the policies to data from other disciplines, so we then can start seeking out the underlying patterns that are emerging, the trends, and then we identify high leverage strategic intervention points. And I'm going to let you in on a secret. Over the last 5 days, although I've been saying it throughout the summit anyway, so it's not much of a secret. But over the last 5 days, one of the things we did, and you know, a lot of people look over the last 5 days and say, oh my God, what an agenda. How could they think we could cover all of this in 5 days? Well, what we were actually doing, in addition to bringing you into what we're doing and really giving you a glimpse of who we are and what we want to do going forward with you, is we were actually curating some of the best ideas, some of the discourses that we think should be on the table.
Making notes all
the
the time.
During, if we want to negotiate the new normal, what are the discourses? Who are the thinkers that can provide guidance and point us to areas for future research, education, and capacity building, so that we, as professionals, wherever we are in the world, can become policy advocates and policy entrepreneurs in our jurisdiction on legal changes, legal system changes that work for all of us, and not just for one nation state, not just within one niche, not just for one type of people, but for all of us. And that's what we are trying to do. And we really want to share with you, this is not a pie in the sky abstract idea or vision that we have. Even before this summit, we already produced research that the United Nations, they made a call for papers to for ideas around how do we deal with law in times of crisis. And and law in times of crisis. And we submitted a paper in the network community of practice on international trade and public procurement. We submitted a paper, and we are now, and it has been selected as a paper that the UN would like us to continue to present before their expert working group. And we came up with model crisis procurement provisions to be included in trade treaties. And this is now work that is underway. We have members in our collaborative, and you are now part of what we're doing. If you haven't subscribed to Negotiator, that's there open for you to be a part of what we're doing for the year going ahead. And we have collaborative members that are working on prisoners' rights, like Godfrey, across the continent of Africa, and designing a whole regional instrument when it comes to that. We are looking at blockchain regulation and model provisions for how we deal with blockchain and cryptocurrency. You saw earlier today that we are partnering with the Stop Ecocide movement to really become a force alongside them to drive ecocide law all around the world. And that is just a handful. We also had an incredible presentation by the Vincent Kostra and Ernestine Eidenberg during the course of this summit, with an innovation in corporate structures that would actually recognize non-human rights, rights of the earth, ecosystem rights, and how to do it. So,
I mean, Margaret, there was so many different
I can't cover everything, but it's all to say we are mapping these things, and then we are coming back to you. We'll be sharing with you the whole map of the strategic intervention points that were mapped over these 5 days, and the emergent network communities of practice that we are going to be developing after this summit, and inviting you in to be a part of it. Those of you who are masters and negotiators, you will have access to the recordings for the next 12 months once you remain with us. And we will be having monthly meetings for you guys to plug into. So this is not the end of anything. This is the beginning of our collaboration together. That is our hope. Our hope is that the action that we've taken will result in a growing collaborative with you.
I mean, stay tuned, because this is not the end of the summit just yet. We do have the labs coming after. There's also going to be 2 more talks, so stay tuned. There's going to be Nisha Raju. She's going to be talking about the Singapore and the policy making around the tracking devices in there. And then we have, after the labs, we also have Tessa Manuela talking about the law and design. So definitely keep an eye on the schedule. And yeah, absolutely become members of the collaborative. I mean, there's plenty of things that we need to do, and we kind of have to do it together. This is why we began with the Future Lab Virtual Summit. This is why we began with the collaborative in the first place. We cannot study everything. We can read a lot, we can read fast, but there's no way that we're going to be doing that alone. So you're warmly welcomed. Join us. And yeah, keep an eye on the email boxes. There's also a WhatsApp group. I hope that the links are already being shared in the chat on the side.
WhatsApp group.
Pop in, pop out, come join us in the conversations that we are having. And we are also bringing a lot of speakers in there. So if you have any open questions, feel free to address them there.
Okay, so a huge thank you
Absolutely.
to all of our tremendous speakers who came on board and said, yes, we want to share what we're doing in the world, and we want to help support others around the world have access to these ideas and to work with us going forward. We really want to, we're really unbelievably grateful
It was
for
incredible.
the speakers.
Yeah, seeing all the people taking the time from the academia and just joining us for, half an hour or 90 minutes altogether. It was really incredible hearing all the experts from all over the world.
Yeah, and a huge thank you to our team. We have a team that has been working night and day to produce this vision, which I want to apologize to them. It was such a big vision. It was so hard for them, but they came out like troopers, and they have been working around the clock, and they're just incredibly amazing. And finally, we really want to thank you. Yeah, we want to thank you for plugging in with us. Though some of you have stayed with us every single day and have been plugging into all the sessions, and some of you have been with us along with the labs every single evening, our structural peace lab, our data lab, our blockchain lab, and our integrative law lab. And we're just grateful for you. We're excited about what we can continue to do together. And